Why are
like
some of the
Diddy,
biggest
Epstein
celebrities
didn't do
suddenly
nothing.
quieter?
He didn't
Why do
nothing.
interviews feel shorter, red carpets thinner, statements more polished than ever? Candace Owens says something shifted after Epstein's name surged back into headlines, and according to her, it's not about proven guilt. It's about fear of exposure. Something changed, and it wasn't subtle.
The Epstein case has been officially closed, my friends. He actually didn't even have a client list that he used for blackmail.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway, we don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my little Men in Black tool, and just wipe your memory real quick. Phew. Phew. She didn't say any of that. Phew.
Sorry.
The FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go
Sean
ahead.
Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that.
There you have it, you guys. That is transparency. That's transparency. I mean, I don't know what more you want from your government. Do you feel like they're laughing at us? I feel like they're laughing at us. We are definitely in clown world. I'm not a huge Elon Musk fan because I think he plays a role in the coming AI system of controlling global affairs. But he did nail it with this clown meme tweet. I will say that. We will release the Epstein list. We just need more time. The Epstein list is on my desk. There is no Epstein list. Interestingly enough, though, I was contacted by someone, a certain someone. For those of you who enjoyed my Brigitte series, Xavier Poussard has been working quite diligently over the last couple of years, not just on the story of Brigitte Macron and this weird ring that happens in France, but also that investigation brought him to Jeffrey Epstein. Because Jeffrey Epstein, as Ghislaine Maxwell, she was French as well, Mossad, and the investigation of Brigitte brought him to Jeffrey Epstein, and he said to me, Candace, would you want to do a series on Epstein? He asked me this about 2 months ago. And what I heard was, would you like to die? Would you like to die? Because that's kind of where, do you want to play a game sort of a thing? And maybe where our government, with all of their resources, is failing, I don't know, maybe it will be up to us. So what can I say, guys? Stay tuned.
The Epstein case, officially, is closed. That part is confirmed. Authorities stated there was no incriminating client list as many online had speculated. But here's where it gets messy. At one point, the Attorney General mentioned documents sitting on my desk. Later, clarification followed. That statement referred broadly to paperwork, not a secret list of powerful names. And that's when trust started cracking. Because online, people heard one thing first, and the correction second.
She went out there and claimed there were tens of thousands of hours of tape. There are, by the way, but they are child pornography. The reason the FBI is not releasing them is because those tapes do not include underage people with third parties on Epstein Island. That is not what the tapes are. Okay, I also have sources in the federal government who are covering this stuff and have seen the documents. Okay, those tapes are just child porn. That's all. That's what they are. That's why the FBI is not releasing them. Okay, as far as the Epstein list, what I have been told by my sources is that there is no Epstein list, that basically there's a black book of Jeffrey Epstein contacts. And the vast majority of those contacts are already out there publicly. That's why you know names like Prince Andrew or Alan Dershowitz or some of the names that have been mentioned here. Those contacts, there is no evidence, according to the DOJ and the FBI, and again, that's public. There's no evidence that any of those third parties were having girls trafficked to them. And that is not evidence that was made clear, certainly, to the DOJ or the FBI. Here is Tucker then asserting that it was actually Mossad. Again, without evidence, not a shock. Of course, this is where Tucker was going. This has become the hot speculation on the internet, is without evidence. You say that Mossad was running Jeffrey Epstein. When I say without evidence, I mean without evidence. Naftali Bennett, the former Israeli prime minister, said, quote, As a former Israeli prime minister, with the Mossad having reported directly to me, I say to you with 100% certainty, the accusation that Jeffrey Epstein somehow worked for Israel or the Mossad running a blackmail ring is categorically and totally false. This accusation is a lie being peddled by prominent online personalities such as Tucker Carlson, pretending they know things they don't. And in fact, I followed up with the former Prime Minister, Naftali Bennett, and what he told me is that Mossad has not been active in the United States or against the United States since the Jonathan Pollard scandal of 1987, when a U.S. Army contractor who's actually working for the Navy revealed classified information to the Israeli government. He was prosecuted by the United States government and ended up in prison.
I didn't watch this whole clip. This is
years.
Hilarious.
And so Israel since then has not spied on the United States with Mossad.
Okay, guys. Well, there you have it. It's just, I don't know how he does it with a straight face. I'm just like, well, anyway, guys, there's millions of emails, but don't even it's like, Mossad hasn't been doing nothing. I know it seems weird because BB's like always here or whatever, and we seem to be doing their bidding everywhere. But the Mossad just said in the United States, they were like, I'm a chill. And they haven't done a single thing here at all. I know it might look that way. Miriam Madel said she doesn't even know their name. She doesn't know who they are, actually. She's doing her thing and she's giving Trump $200 million, but it ain't got nothing to do with the Mossad. So I just wanted to bring you that stunning report from Ben Shapiro. Thank you for clarifying, Benjamin.
What? 21 calls? What? They could have gave me a call.
So the obvious question lingered, if there was never a confirmed client list, what exactly were people waiting for? Memes exploded. Commentators mocked the back and forth. Transparency started feeling selective. And when transparency feels selective, suspicion fills the silence. Candace even described being approached about doing deeper investigative work on Epstein, and half-joked about the personal risk. Alleged, of course. But that tone matters. It feeds the sense that this topic still makes powerful circles uncomfortable. And here's the part people miss. Discomfort doesn't prove wrongdoing, but it does change behavior. She argued celebrities aren't physically running. They're retreating. Fewer unscripted moments. More PR control. Carefully measured appearances. On the run, in her framing, means pulling back from visibility. In an industry built on constant visibility, that kind of retreat stands out.
The emails drop, and Jeffrey Epstein, who worked on behalf of the Rothschilds, according to him, he wrote that in an email, the Rothschilds, who credit themselves with having created which nation state? Oh, right, Israel, the same nation state that is having a bunch of women say that they were ritualistically abused in a forest by rabbis. That's happening in the Knesset right now, that nation state, saying that they were 3-4 years old when this happened. He's saying, those are my bosses, the Rothschilds. And here is a brief, but by no means an extensive coverage, video that was put together by, I assume this guy must be Goy, right? Goy? Is he Goy? TikToker Contrarian put this together. Take a listen.
Israel is mentioned twice as much as Donald Trump in the new documents. Here he is discussing with Roger Schank, a Jewish American academic and hedge fund worker, saying Jews create vast fortunes by manipulating markets and creating financial speculation and exploiting labor. He says, let the Goyim deal in the real world. In a discussion with the Rothschild family, Epstein says if they overthrew the Ukrainian government, there would be great opportunities. The Rothschild family paid Epstein $25 million for certain algorithms. While talking to Peggy Seigel, August 7th of 2010, she asks if an event is going to be 100% Jewish. He says no, they'll have Goyim in abundance. But don't worry, they're just brilliant wasps from JP Morgan. Joshua Finkelstein, BlackRock's Larry Finkelstein's son, is accused of not having any respect for non-Jews, seeing them as not human. This is from his ex-girlfriend, Svetlana. He pressures her to have an abortion. In 2017, Epstein has a conversation talking about if you want to hire the best people, you have to hire only Jews. Only hire those who can prove they are genetically Jewish. Maria Farmer, one of the first victims to come out and name Epstein.
I wasn't allowed to go get food. And when I called Ghislaine and asked why I couldn't eat there, she said, it's a Jewish country club. You're not Jewish. They're not going to serve you. They, honest to God, think their DNA is better than everybody else.
Said that their operation was motivated by Jewish supremacy.
Anybody gonna say that that's not real anymore?
Then came the
about
tape
what he says
controversy.
happened with Combs
Claims
in
circulated
2011 and
about
20
thousands of hours of footage. The DOJ stated publicly there was no evidence of third-party S**XTR at ficking tied to specific names in the way the internet imagined. Officials also distinguished between a contact book and an incriminating client list. That distinction is critical and disputed heavily online. Because once confusion sets in, speculation multiplies. And then the internet did what it always does. It connected dots. It built timelines. It revived old photos and resurfaced interviews. Not proven in court, but powerful enough to shape perception. At one point, online commentators alleged intelligence agency involvement. That theory gained traction fast. But then a former Israeli prime minister publicly denied any connection, calling the accusations false. So now you have two forces colliding, viral speculation versus official denial. And that's where narratives spiral.
I've got some news. Emmanuel Macron is gay. Why are you gay, Emmanuel Macron? When I said it, it was a conspiracy. Now these Epstein emails are getting released and people are looking up, and by people I mean the mainstream media. They're willing to accept that maybe I was telling the truth. He's also married to a dude because he's gay, so that makes sense. But I guess we'll wait for the next email dump before the reliably dishonest press is prepared to admit that part too. And this text chain that is happening, they are discussing Emmanuel Macron's boyfriend. It is Epstein. And I believe in other chats, he's talking with Steve Bannon. And this says, along with some other tidbits, I was shown a photo of Macron's boyfriend. Hypocrisy. There are more emails referencing the fact that Emmanuel Macron is gay. And I think the biggest clue is that he married a dude. But apparently now people are willing to accept that Emmanuel Macron is not a straight Catholic man by any stretch of an imagination. No, in fact, I know his trigger. His trigger is MK Ultra. And his trigger is anybody that discusses his wife. And there's something there. Okay. Now that we are kind of graduating into the Epstein files as a society, you can start to separate that all of these facts from fiction and recognize that the media is out there to consistently lie and to protect the elites. They have money, they have power, they do not have the truth on their side. And many of these things that you may have thought were conspiracies, things that I grew up thinking were conspiracies, are so obviously not conspiracies at all. It's getting interesting, but we can put that as another thing that I was right about. Unfortunately, I don't want to be right about these things sometimes, but when it came to Emmanuel Macron, yeah, that's been pretty obvious. Any woman looks at Brigitte and just goes, nah, nope, something not right there.
Candace reacted sharply to those denials, and others did too. Some defended the official statements. Others dismissed them. What's confirmed is simple. No court has proven those international claims. But the speed at which they spread revealed something deeper. Public trust is fragile. And that's when it gets bigger than one theory. Because Candace's broader point wasn't about a single allegation. It was about media tone. When lesser-known individuals face controversy, headlines are relentless. But when A-listers appear in documents, even casually, coverage often becomes cautious. That contrast, she argues, fuels skepticism. And skepticism doesn't just sit quietly. It affects fans. Some rush to defend their favorite celebrities instantly. Others demand immediate answers. Both reactions reveal how deeply celebrity culture shapes identity. Hollywood doesn't just sell movies, it sells image. And when image cracks, even slightly, emotions spike. Candace went further, suggesting the media often protects elite networks. That's her opinion, not a proven fact. But it resonates because audiences now archive everything. Old interviews don't disappear. Photos don't fade. Digital memory doesn't Here's where the power shift becomes undeniable. Decades ago, major outlets controlled the narrative. Stories could fade if editors chose not to push them. Today, online communities dissect every frame. They debate every inconsistency. Fame no longer shields anyone from scrutiny the way it once might have. And now even silence feels suspicious. The Epstein scandal, confirmed in its crimes, disputed in its wider allegations, changed the cultural mood. Not because every rumor is true. Not because every celebrity is guilty, but because vulnerability replaced invincibility.
Testifying
Elite
about what he
networks
says
look less
happened with
untouchable.
Combs in
PR
2011 and
strategies look more defensive. Candace closed by emphasizing that being socially connected to someone accused of crimes does not automatically equal wrongdoing. That distinction matters legally. But culturally, the ground shifted. Audiences question more boldly now. They don't accept polished narratives at face value. Hollywood built an empire on visibility. Now visibility feels risky. And when stars dim their own spotlight, people notice. So here's the question no one can fully answer yet. Is this just a temporary wave of online suspicion? Or are we watching the end of untouchable celebrity status forever?